Hi guys, welcome back to Y'all Hearing This. My name is Kay. Thank you so much for coming over here and checking us out on Patreon. I am excited. Started doing this series this month where we check out some K-pop lore. And this week we are doing Dreamcatcher, the Nightmare series. So they, I know they have a couple different kind of storylines. So Nightmares being first, and then I know they have like the Apocalypse one, and I forget what they're on now. Or no, I think they're just finishing up Apocalypse or just did. Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited to learn more. I actually haven't checked out that much for their earlier stuff. The Nightmare series, I've seen some things, and I have done their first couple like mini albums, but yeah, so I'm excited to get into this more. And I mean, I just love these storylines. They're just so great. It's such a great like draw into different things, and I mean I love Dreamcatcher. So their music, their personalities, I'm having the best time watching the Insomniacy Introducing series right now here on Wednesdays. So yeah, anyway, without any further ado, let's check it out.
Welcome to an in-depth analysis of Dreamcatcher's Nightmare Saga. Please keep in mind that this is my complete interpretation of the lore after collating my own research and consultations of the theories formulated by other people, so take this with a grain of salt. Before we start, I would like to emphasize 7 main points. It is important to stress out the following details. These are recurring themes, so pointing these out right now will do me so much favor. Also, please excuse my English. It is the third language I learned. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
First premise, the girls are witches from the very start, and they formed a coven. There are just overwhelmingly numerous indications that support this premise. The presence of the antler's head, skulls, feathers, marbles, beads, flowers, candles, photos of random people, and even the spider, all point towards this premise. Furthermore, the girls wear coven outfits at the end of Good Night. 2 of the girls, Shion and Suwa, are seen wearing the same and fly high. Second premise, they each have a pure, untainted psyche and an evil, menacing psyche. These 2 opposing psyches form one identity of the girls. This is the duality theme of the series. But if the evil psyche overpowers the pure psyche, the girl gets corrupted. A change in physical features signals corruption, such as changes in the eyes, hairstyles, or facial expressions. The girls, throughout the series, will be conflicted and will question themselves from time to time as to who they really are. You can say this is their inner battle. They are going to face nightmares and begin to question their identity. Should they accept this other reality? Third premise, the girls were not nightmares from the very beginning. They once lived innocent lives at the start of Fly High. Again, they were witches from the start, but not nightmares. They become nightmares only at the end of Fly High. Fourth premise, each girl represents a nightmare. Jiyu represents the fear of being chased by a stranger. Suwa represents the fear of restraint or inability to move. Shion represents the fear of being trapped in confined spaces. Pandong represents the fear of being stared at. Yuyeon represents the fear of being lost or in an unknown place. Dami represents the fear of being hurt, bleeding, or having scars. Gaion represents the fear of falling from high places. Since I have already made this clear, I won't be mentioning this detail later on. Fifth premise, the main antagonist is the Spider Queen or Spider Lady. She makes her first full appearance in You and I, but has been disturbing the girls since Fly High. The second antagonists are the evil psyches or counterparts of the girls. This is their other reality. They are them, but their evil selves have a different plan for them. The third antagonists are the nightmare hunters, like the guys in Chase Me and Good Night. Sixth premise, the book enables the girls to perform extraordinary things. It is revealed they are able to even break free from curses, and turn things around. It is still unknown as to how much power the book wields. Interestingly, during Boken era, the girls reveal to us that the book is the most important object in the storyline. Last premise, this is the main theory which I think best connects the different timelines. I would like to give credit to the primary source of this theory. This is a highly plausible theory but is not often discussed. Evidently, pictures of people play a vital role in the series. Not only is the infamous picture of Dreamcatcher members that appears in the Nightmare trilogy and You and I, a recurring theme, but it is possible that they are trying to protect this picture, even framing it at one point. It turns out that the girls can perform rituals on people through their original photos. They can invoke nightmares on the subject of the photos. Likewise, the hunters can do the same to the girls if they obtain the girl's original photo. This will be explained further.
Interesting. I need to go back and rewatch some of these videos.
Let's move on to the story. The story starts with their first anniversary fan song, Full Moon. The music video introduces two main characters, a young girl who is fond of flowers and a boy in his 20s. The music video reveals how the girls can haunt or cast spells on people, while Chase Me shows how entering into people's dreams, in nightmare form, is possible. Like Suwa and Dami, Full Moon reveals to us that by obtaining people's photos originally taken, and performing a ritual that somewhat involves flowers, concocted liquids, and tarot cards, the girls can invoke nightmares to the subject of the photo. This is shown in the music video where the boy, the object of the young girl's affection, experiences nightmares. He grows up to be the hunter journalist in Chase Me who suffers a more cruel fate. The girls can invoke nightmares and force people to do things they do not expect. The boy goes to the young girl's house, as if being controlled. One girl in her young age is able to perform this witchcraft, in the woods, as long as she has the photos of potential victims. This girl is most likely young Guyan, as she makes this appearance in her bed in Fly High when she is surrounded with flowers, and in Chase Me, the guy seems to recall her face, encircling it, because he saw her in his nightmares that day. Now that the main theory is clear, let's move on to Fly High. 7 witches, isolated from the rest of the world, in what seems to be a boarding school, lived innocent and happy lives. Witches are not very welcome to the rest of the world. In fact, they are normally hunted and exterminated. Their psyches are still pure at this point, as symbolized by the butterflies around Jiyu. Curiosity gets the better of them, however. Leader Jiyu catches a spider. This is not surprising because she is a witch and spiders are such great specimens to experiment with. Yuyan is in an unknown place, a forest, by herself, touching a mirror. Black tar or liquid consumed her mirror image. Without a doubt, something evil is on the other side of the mirror, their evil psyches or realities. It transitions to a girl in white dress, Xian's evil psyche, smiling, while pulling the ear of her bunny doll, as if she accomplished something. We later find out that Yuyan gets corrupted at this point, as seen in the change in hairstyle and facial expression. It seems that evil Xian influenced Yuan to venture into the woods. Everything is downhill from here on. The girls, one by one, get corrupted and cursed. A lady with white veil and candles is responsible for the corruption of most of the members. Please remember this minor detail because we will encounter her true identity, Imperi. Gaion gets corrupted, and the scene transitions to evil Xian once again, as if she is in control of everything. Handong's corruption is shown by her lifeless body in the bathtub. It turns out that sending a black paper plane has a deeper meaning. Paper plane is a symbolism for innocence and youth. The fact that it is black and she sends it out entails corruption at this point. Suwa, Shiyuan, and Dami, looking down from the stairs, can sense that something wrong is going on with Gaion, Handong, and Yuyuan. In the dining table scene, the girls are divided into two, those who are corrupted, and those who are not. Just look at their eyes and the objects they are holding, white books for the untainted girls, black books for the corrupted girls. We later learn that Jiyu's evil psyche is already out, playing the piano. You may be wondering why all these things are happening. We then learn what triggers the curse. Yuan, who is potentially influenced by her evil psyche, burns the spider to death using a magnifying glass. She smiles while tormenting the spider. In some Native American and First Nations cultures, a dreamcatcher includes sacred items such as certain feathers or beads. It originates in Ojibwe culture as a spiderweb charm that serves to protect people from nightmares. Now that the relation between spiders and dreamcatchers are clear, we see the pure psyches of the girls burning as well, which signify that the Spider Queen has abandoned their dreamcatchers and will not be protecting them from nightmares anymore. The innocent and playful girls that we saw at the start are gone. They're cursed, or in the process of being so, to put simply. This is probably why in Gaion's scene, feathers and beads are scattered in the room, to imply that her dream catcher is destroyed. The video then confirms the narrative that they are witches, because one of the girls can perform witchcraft. Dami is seen with floating books, as she finds ways to counteract the curse that is disturbing her sisters. She investigates the same room where Gaion gets corrupted. We see the same colored feathers, books, and flowers on the floor. Unfortunately, she, too, succumbs to the darkness. Jiyu makes contact with her evil psyche, which surprises her, as if she knows what is going on. Theory is that she sees the butterflies around her get burned. She flees from the scene, looking back from time to time. Keep this in mind because we see this parallelism in You and I. Evil Xian is outside the school grounds, holding a bunny doll and some sort of rolled canvas, which is most probably the original picture of the girls, judging by its size and color. However, she is not alone. She is later joined by Suwa's evil psyche. They hold hands, and will continue to do so in Chase Main. Interestingly, evil Suwa is holding a big book. Evil Xian and evil Suwa wear coven outfits. They, Su, are witches. These two are most probably the evil psyches of Xian and Suwa, who have yet to overpower them. This takes us back to why Suwa seems to be the dividing line in the dinner scene. The big book is with her, so perhaps she plays a very important role in their coven. The two must have performed the same ritual in full moon on the girls, when the girls are most vulnerable as ever because the Spider Queen has abandoned their Dreamcatchers. We can say that these two facilitated everything that happened so far. They drove the girls to this situation for a reason we have yet to discover. Fly High ends with Jiyu closing the school gate, facing the nightmare all by herself. This is to trap and seal the curse or nightmares in the school grounds, and at the same time prevent innocent outsiders from entering the haunted place. What a leader. We see her evil psyche, moments after closing the gate. It is implied that soon after, that the girls have all lost to their evil psyche, becoming corrupted. This perhaps the effect of the spider's curse, as each girl becomes vulnerable to outside forces like nightmares. In the outro, Suwa stabs the edge of the original photo, to fit it in a frame. Notice that the girls can hardly look at it. It is as if they want to destroy it. The girls in the picture are gone, they are different now. But for some reason, they cannot let go of it, their past selves. They even framed it and kept it isolated in a room in Chase Me, maybe for somebody to discover. Moving on, for me, Suwa, at this point, is very suspicious. She is probably the head of the coven. The dining table scene and the ritual scene in Chase Me all point toward the same detail. Her evil psyche is the bearer of the book, an object that can do wonders. Also, she stabs the edge of the picture. But why her? This theory will be discussed further in You and I. Going back, we see this same picture of the girls in Chase Me, only this time, it is framed. It seems that they need to protect and preserve that picture. Once again, the theory is that the girls are able to perform rituals on people if they have their original pictures. Likewise, they, too, are susceptible to the same ritual. As nightmares, they can be captured or if a person gets hold of their original picture. Second part of the outro shows the girls forming a pentagram, a symbol highly associated with witchcraft and rituals. They are perhaps trying to remove the seal the good Jiyu placed that prevents outsiders from entering the place, eventually transforming the place into a hotel which people would most likely visit. They cannot go out, but outsiders may come in. They are overpowered by their evil psyches, and are now extremely dangerous to the rest of the world. Their evil psyches want the rest of the world to notice them, unlike their good psyches, which are innocent and content with the way things originally are.
Interesting. This is very cool. I don't think I've seen those videos, but I have seen this one.
The rest of the world because of the pentagram and Fly High. This MV shows the girls in their corrupted nightmare forms, who are trapped in the hotel that is previously a boarding school. This means that Jiyu's plan, when she was still not corrupted, to seal and trap the girls in the school grounds is a success. They have now assumed spiritual forms. This is most likely the end result of the curse of the spider. According to the girls in an interview, this hunter is sent to investigate what happened to the girls after Fly High. So definitely, Chase Me occurs after Fly High. A hunter journalist enters the hotel and notices Jiyu. He points the camera to her, but the camera cannot capture or record her image. This supports the theory that the original photos of the girls cannot be taken, or else they will be captured. But it turns out he has a reproduced picture of the girls, when they were still not corrupted. He encircles Gaion's head, aiming for her. He experiences nightmares while he is asleep, Suwa and Dami's nightmare, and awake, Gaion, Jiyu, Shiyuan, Yuan, Handong's nightmare. He tries his best to digitally capture the girls.
That's cool. I didn't realize that each like represented a different one.
Yuan is able to confuse the hunter of the real location of the picture by indicating all rooms as room 808. Finally, he witnesses one of the girls making her entry in one of the rooms. This might be a mistake on one of the girls' part, or maybe the girls actually wanted the hunter to follow them. So far, the girls have been more playful than scary. Journalist forces his way through the said room. He finds a photo of the girls framed in one of the walls. He is clearly surprised, even dropping his axe. Why is he so surprised? He literally has an exact copy of the picture. This is because, shortly thereafter, he learns that it is no ordinary photo. A short glimpse of the girls from the past flashes by his eyes. The picture was very much alive, and is in fact, the original photo of the girls. He smiles as he is one step away from capturing them. Did the girls really mess up? Or maybe deep down, the girls wanted him to see who they once were?
Interesting.
In Good Night, the original photo of the girls is in the possession of the hunter journalist. He captures them. The girls are now stuck in the dream world and can only interact with the real world through mirrors. Jiyu, Dami, and Handong are on the other side of the mirror. Handong can see through the real world as long as she wills it. The book is introduced once again, which is the same book in Evil Suwa's arm in Fly High. Flipping through the pages of the book causes some of the girls to experience nightmares. Gaion is seen falling endlessly. Suwa is restrained. Meanwhile, Yuyan and Xiyan are being chased. The undisturbed girls, Jiyu, Dami, and Handong manage to retrieve the book by performing a special ritual in the dream world. We later learn that the book contains the nightmares that the girls represent.
I believe I've seen this one
by
too.
By burning some pages of the book, the
it looks
girls are
familiar.
released from the nightmares, consequently, from the dream world. In celebration, they threw a bunch of books and pieces of evidence that the hunter journalist has, onto the mirror, to show that they now have complete agency over the real world. The hunter's attention shifts to a Dreamcatcher. He grabs it and somehow, the worlds shift. He is now inside the dream world while the rest of the girls are outside, and free. The book enabled the girls not only to break free from the journalist, but also from Jiyu's trap. They can now go outside, which leads us to our next setting, the UN dimension. In the woods however, careless Dami drops the book. In the same outro, the girls are being watched from a distance, by huge green lights resembling an eye. This is most likely the Spider Lady's gaze, which we will later on encounter.
Interesting. Okay.
This takes place after Good Night. The girls said so in an interview. The girls now run a photo studio business, maybe to earn money and get people's pictures at the same time, and haunt them. Remember that they can invoke nightmares to people if they have their pictures with them. The song starts with a doorbell. This signals the old lady's entry to the mansion. Short-haired Jiyu can be seen in a corridor of the mansion as if she is looking for something. We see two Gaions, which tells us that the girls are complete again with both good and evil psyche, back to how they were before the spider cursed them. One does not overpower the other. However, we see two girls covered in spider webs, Yuyan and Handong. We then get a point of view of a mysterious creature. This gaze should already be familiar to you by now. We see this in Fly High, from what turns out to be the point of view of the spider Jiyu noticed at the very start. Only this time, from a much bigger spider as it seems to be looking from a much higher altitude. The old lady approaches Yuyan for a photo shoot. Yuyan takes a picture of the old lady. Moments later, the lady transforms into a giant spider and presumably attacks Yuyan. This introduces us to another setting, the celestial dream world, which Yuan is trapped in after the assault of the spider. Her sisters, headed by Jiyu, perform a ritual to bring her back, using sand or salt to drive out the evil spirit possessing Yuyan. Yuyan is sitting on this chair that we will see again in the opening scene of Piri. In the process of rescuing Yuan, Jiyu, too, experiences nightmares, a never-ending loop in the mansion's corridor. A spinning top symbolizes a loop. This is very reminiscent of Fly High's scene of her running in the corridor, always looking back to check if something is chasing her. This time though, something is really chasing her. She then gives up at one point because of the loop, and this thought alone will bother her for the rest of the series. The portal to the way out closes before Yuyan manages to reach for it. This scene reminds us of the spider that Yuyan burned in Fly High. This time though, their fates were reversed. Interestingly, however, Suwa is seen in the same room as Yu-Yeon and the old lady, before and after the assault of the spider lady. I mentioned before that she is one of the most suspicious characters in the series, and I would again like to point that out here. What is she doing in the same room as them? Also, this bit seems a little odd. We don't really get to see if the thing that was chasing Ji-Yu ever reached her. What if, in fact, it reached her and possessed her? Look at this. Need I say more? Now let's move on to what MV. What MV takes place in Yu-Yeon's dream world. The lyrics clarify that this is not just an ordinary dream.
Don't think I've seen this one.
This is a lucid dream. It is a dream in which the person knows she is dreaming. This line describes Yu-Yeon. After a failed rescue attempt by Ji-Yu and Yu and I, Yu-Yeon is stuck in a never-ending cycle of nightmares which she wakes up to, every day. She is seen a number of times in the same dark room, not wanting to go out. The lyrics suggest that she does not want to escape anymore. The reason is not clear. We see the girls in the same dream world, probably aiming to save Yu-Yeon once again. Out of all the girls, however, it seems that Ji-Yu is the only one that can move around freely in this story, much like in the second half of Yu and I this time. However, the girls find themselves in different places. They are not together. In fact, the album title is Alone in the City. Cheon and Gyeon have no idea where they are, and are stuck in a loop too. Suwa, Dami, and Handong are stationary in random confined spaces. So this is yet again another Ji-Yu and Yu-Yeon music video. Important thing to consider, however, is the unmoved snow globe in Yu-Yeon's dark room. In most of what's shots, we see Ji-Yu looking for Yu-Yeon. We get a shot of the book too, this time, with a blue flower blooming from it. Blue flowers are present also in Deja Vu. They symbolize desire and especially hope.
Oh yeah, I remember Deja Vu.
Blooms from the Book of Nightmares, which Yeon is experiencing right now, in a loop, signifies hope amidst the situation. She is still hopeful that she will be saved. Ji-Yu is unsuccessful once again. The lyrics reveal that Ji-Yu has no means of saving Yu-Yeon. But even if the black clouds cover her up, Yu-Yeon is the only one she is seeing. Her love for Yu-Yeon is what keeps her going. She looks up, wishing and hoping that one day, she can save Yu-Yeon. The cycle continues endlessly. Yu-Yeon wakes up from another nightmare, this time on a different room with Joker cards that symbolize Yu-Yeon not being truthful to herself. At first, she does not want to escape. Now, something is in her that wants to. We see a shot of a snow globe that has churned up white particles. If at the start, the snow globe was clear and unmoved, which signifies hopelessness and lack of motivation, the video closes in with a snow globe that was shaken. The particles in a snow globe get churned up only by shaking the snow globe. This symbolizes Yu-Yeon's wavering heart that still wants to escape the nightmare. She is basically asking for help at this point, and is hopeful that she will be saved in the future.
Piri, this is another one that's been a request,
Piri,
and
the
I
scene
have
opens up
don't
in a room
believe
with a chair at the center. This chair is reminiscent of Yu and I's chair which Yu-Yeon sat on, while the girls are performing a ritual to bring her back. As she touches the Piri, dark tar or liquid oozes out, much like in Fly High when she touched the mirror.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
The members that are stuck in Yu-Yeon's dream world find themselves experiencing nightmares. Cheon is stuck in a maze. Handong hears unpleasant noises in front of dozens of clocks. She really does not want to TikTok, I suppose. Gyeon makes a phone call, perhaps to ask for help. Dami is in an unfamiliar corridor. Suwa is in a room filled with dolls. Poor girl.
Creepy.
Consistent with the theme of what? The girls are again in different places, and evidently, are not together. Ji-Yu's attention is drawn to a monitor that shows herself and another girl sitting beside her. This girl has a veil. Do you remember the lady with the veil in Fly High that drove Gyeon and Handong to corruption? Here she is. It is time to uncover her identity. Ji-Yu then removes the veil, and to her, and maybe our surprise, it was her other self, her evil psyche all along. This is reminiscent of Fly High's piano scene, where she sees her evil psyche and somehow she figures out what is going on. Although physically, it may not have been her that corrupted the girls, figuratively, she was the cause of everything. This is maybe the nightmare that she keeps running away from. Maybe she was responsible for everything that took place from Fly High to Piri, but the thought of it keeps escaping her mind, or maybe she has been running away from this truth. If she chose to not keep the spider from the very start, would they be placed in this cruel fate? In you and I, and what, wasn't she in control of the situation, compared to the other girls who are either unaware of what is going on or stuck in unknown rooms? In you and I, she enters Yu Yan's dream to save her but to no avail. In what, she is aware of the situation and badly desires to save Yu Yan, and in exchange, other members experience the nightmare as well. She failed once again. Her continuous failure took its toll on the other girls to enter Yu Yan's dream world and endlessly experience the nightmares. Indeed, figuratively speaking, she is the cause of everything. Deep inside, she is badly obsessed with the idea of saving Yu Yan, not because she is acquainted with her, but mainly because she feels responsible for everything.
Oh.
Maybe this is also why she closed the school gate and took the blame by facing the curse alone. This is her nightmare, which she has to accept sooner or later. It is important to note that Piri has mostly showcased the girls' duality, though this time, they are more accepting. There are shots of the girls giving up to the nightmare or fate they were placed in. But one girl stands out once again. Suwa. We have seen clips of Yu Yan touching the mirror, but dark liquid consumes her image. Suwa does the same, but nothing happens. I would like to think that unlike Yu Yan, Suwa has fully given into her evil psyche. She fully accepts her evil self, unlike Yu Yan who always gets surprised to see her evil psyche. The MV ends with the girls finding each other, together, ready to face yet another nightmare. This is the first time they have been together since what MV. Although they are not in a pretty good situation, fact remains that they are together.
Oh, nice.
Breaking out is arguably an alternate ending to the Nightmare Saga. Instead of the girls accepting their cruel fate in Piri, they eventually break out from the nightmare by overcoming them. The lyrics translate to believe, this heart screaming, I can overcome. The girls are evidently separated by the red strings of fate. It is fate that keeps them apart. They are alone in their respective nightmares, lost and always wondering. However, they can sense that someone is coming up, whispering to them, at a distance. Each of them tries their best to break free, even if only footsteps echo. By breaking free, it denotes waking up from the nightmare. This is confirmed by the lines I cannot get out, already inside a dream. This also establishes a connection between this Japanese release and the Nightmare Saga that supposedly ended with Piri. Eventually, the girls are ready to cross over. They each overcome their nightmares. In the end, they bid farewell to the nightmare. In Piri, their sense of togetherness is not a complete victory. They may be together, but the fact remains that they are stuck in a never-ending nightmare. In breaking out, the girls experience complete victory. They are saying goodbye to the nightmare. They are, in every sense of the word, together and free once again. The red string of fate is set on fire, much like how pages of the book in Good Night was set on fire, freeing the girls. They held hands together in the end. The lyrics suggest how the girls are throwing their past away, move forward, and seek for the light. Their heart won't stop even if someone tries to stop them. They are ready to face tomorrow. By passing through darkness, the story begins. This is Dreamcatcher. We ended up having 3 unanswered questions. Let's try to answer each one. Let's start with the easiest. Who was the person abducting the girls in Piri? From the get-go, Gaon, Dami, and Shion are definitely out of the list because they were the victims. At least from what we know. My guess would be that it was Yu Yan who was abducting them. Remember that as the MV shows each girl, the perspective is that they are experiencing nightmares. Even if things are not really bad and serious, things will appear bad and serious. The end of Piri is perhaps our biggest clue so far. Yu Yan was in fact reaching out her hand to the girls so that they would be together. The second and last question require additional source materials, not just the music videos and trailers. Who exactly is the veiled lady in Fly High? And lastly, who exactly is Suwa in the storyline? Fans are almost certain that the veiled lady in Fly High is actually one of the members. The girls are literally the only people we see in Fly High, so this, so to speak, is a plausible claim. We know that in Fly High, we actually see 3 members who either made contact with the veiled lady, or appeared corrupted in a scene after the video shows a shot of the veiled lady. These are Gaon, Handong, and Yu Yan. Notice that these 3 are the first ones that get corrupted if we are going to recall the dinner scene. That leaves us with 4 members. Additionally, we believe that the veiled GU in Piri is more of a symbolism than reality, as it is just GU owning up to her responsibility. Xian and Sua's evil psyche are portrayed as twins not just in Fly High but also in Chase Main. Therefore, for the sake of answering, the veiled lady must be Dami. She is seen in the same room as Gaion. She has strikingly similar scenes with Gaion as Piri. Also in one of Fly High's concept photos, Dami is seen sitting on a chair with candlesticks, just like the veiled lady in this scene. Moments after the veiled lady corrupted the girls, we actually see a thread coming from Dami's direction in the staircase scene in Fly High. And now, this is a supported claim. Now who exactly is Sua? She is by far the hardest character to crack open. Up until now, I am still not sure, but I have initial thoughts. My answer is that she is the source of the curse. The mastermind. The Spider Lady. We know that she leads the coven in different scenes, and she is often paired with Xian. She is also seen with Yu Yuan, cradling her close by the throat in Chase Main. We know for a fact that Yu Yuan literally brought the curse to the girls, and she is now with the source of the curse. In the book, Suwa's page is the most unique, because it has glyphs and drawings of the hands. Other pages did not have glyphs nor drawings of hands. Up until now, fans have not derived the meaning behind these hands, and hardly for the glyphs that mean God, Earth, Logic, New Moon, and Fire. It is only Suwa's page that the girls burn in Good Night. It may be assumed that each arm that holds Suwa represents each glyph. 6 arms are holding her down, and we know what the number 6 implies in most cultures. We see her touching a mirror in Piri, much like Yu Yuan in Fly High. Instead, the mirror wobbles. She is just so mysterious. We see her in the room where Yu Yuan gets possessed by the Spider Lady. In Yu Yuan's dream world, we see tapes that indicate danger, perhaps pointing at Suwa. We also see a crown that is burning. Is she in fact telling us that someone who is most associated with the crown, has something to do with the spider that burns in Fly High? It is a well-known fact to the insomnias that Suwa has been referred to as Dreamcatcher's queen. This crown may also relate to her being the head of the coven or being in control of everything. Remember that this is Yu Yuan's dream world, the bringer of the curse. She is the closest to the source of the curse. Is she in fact telling us who Suwa is? In Fly High, we are introduced to the cobweb scene just before Yu Yuan speaks. Later on, we find out that Suwa is in that scene. Only a spider lives in a cobweb. This is the scene before Yu Yuan burns the spider. She is also the member most associated with fire. The burning scene in Goodnight, the burning crown in What, and the lyrics in Piri which she sang, that directly translates to like a fire, fire, fire. Who else is associated with fire? Her twin, Xian. In What, blue flower is sitting on top of the nightmare book. The same flower is thrown by Suwa in the deja vu death scene. In What MV, we see Suwa outside. She is the only member that manages to escape her nightmare. Even Ji-Yu suffers on a loop as she struggles to save Yu Yuan. It is after this that Yu Yuan gets transported to another world. It is as if Suwa is preventing Ji-Yu from saving Yu Yuan. In fact, contrary to what we thought is the motif of the MV, 2 girls actually met. Suwa and Gaion. Gaion is the only eyewitness of Suwa's escape in her nightmare. At this point, Gaion already knows what is going on with Suwa and who she really is. Immediately thereafter, the girls are sent back in the loop. In Piri, she immediately looks for means of communication, perhaps to inform the other girls. But this was fruitless. She is the only one who knows, and will ever know. In Breaking Out, Suwa is seen on a swing, with a rope set on fire. This is reminiscent of the spider that is burned, with the rope as its web. When the girls are finally breaking out of their nightmares, Yu Yuan only manages to overcome her nightmare when Suwa's hand choreography is flashed on the screen. In Goodnight, Dami drops the book. In You and I, we see her enclosed in a cylinder which appears to be parallel to the dome that enclosed the spider in Fly High. Is this Suwa's punishment to Dami for messing up badly? Finally, there is one scene that cannot escape my head. The dining table scene in Fly High. She was in command of everything. She, at the head of the table, rings the bell and decides for the members when to eat. Nothing can be more obvious than this. Or is there? This marks the end of my video. Thank you so much and congratulations for making it this far. I really appreciate it. Feel free to comment down below your insights. You are not obliged to subscribe to the same interpretation. I will be more than glad to consider your version of the story. You may even derive your own interpretation of the lore. connecting it to real-life experience of the girls as Dreamcatcher. In fact, I can think of one right now. Once again, thank you so much and have a great day ahead. Stan Talent, Stan Dreamcatcher.
Well, that was super, super interesting. I didn't know really any of it. I remember the guy in Chase Me, but I didn't realize like the girls were the nightmares. So that's really cool. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm interested. Do the different storylines like interact? Like, does Nightmare go into the Apocalypse series? Or is it like two completely separate things? But yeah, I'm definitely interested in learning more. And I definitely need to check out more Dreamcatcher in general. So please leave me any suggestions you may have for that. But yeah, that was, I think, a great video. It definitely explained a lot of things. Sometimes it was a little like, what? You know, I think I should be a little bit more familiar with like this series anyway, the MVs and things like that. So maybe I'll go back and watch some of them. But yeah, that was really great. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Definitely leave me any suggestions for Dreamcatcher, for, you know, what groups I should check out for lore videos. Leave me links to lore videos. But yeah, I can't wait to keep going with this series. So thank you as always for coming over here and supporting us on Patreon. We truly couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you. Love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.